right, welcome. Today is January 17th, and this is Lifting with Max. So today we are going to be switching things up a little bit. I know that I've been running the basic squat, bench, deadlift for the past couple weeks now, and I've started to peter out. So I've been playing with the idea of like moving to an intermediate program. I revisited practical programming Wednesday and yesterday, and I think that there's a little more juice that I can squeeze out of this linear progression that I'm doing. So what I'm looking at is my squats are still going up, even though my bench and deadlift have stalled out. So I'm going to keep squatting. I'm going to be doing 5 pound jumps instead of 10 pound jumps, though. And I'm going to take a light day on Wednesday. So basically, I'm going to, Monday will be 5 pounds heavier than today. Then I'm going to dial it back 20%, squat on Wednesday, and then add 5 pounds to Monday's weight on Friday when I squat again. So that's going to help me get a little bit more recovery in my legs because, like, after Wednesday, my hamstrings are still kind of sore, which isn't a whole lot of fun, but I'm going to try to power through it. And then I'm going to do the AB rotation on my overhead press and my bench. So I'll do press today. And then when I do my press, I'm going to do triples instead of instead of 3 sets of 5. I'm going to try to do 5 sets of 3 at that 275 and see if I can keep getting progress on my bench there. And then for deadlift, I'm only going to deadlift once a week. And instead, I'm going to do power clean. I'm going to do my heavy deadlift on my light squat day so that I can approach those fresher. And then I'm going to probably do the power snatch. So after I do my overhead press and my squats today, I will do my first ever attempt at the power snatch. So hopefully it won't look too dumb. But those will be done for 5 sets of 3, and they're one of those explosive movements. So stay tuned. Might be cool, might embarrass myself, who knows. But we got our warm-up sets out of the way, and we got 350 loaded on the bar, so we're going to jump into our first set of 5. Stay in the groove, man. Woo! There we go. Whew. So it's that same bad habit. Came forward a little bit on that last rep, which is more of my hips shooting up and my knees not extending. Generally caused by thick butt, strong ass, and relatively weaker quads. So basically what happens is your quads stop contracting until your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back raise the bar into a more mechanically advantageous position. And then once they're in that more advantageous position, they kind of kick back in and continue straightening the knee joint. So the problem with that one is, one, it lets your quads be lazy, and two, as your hips rise but your back angle doesn't stay constant, the bar, you're gonna lean forward more, and that can cause the bar to come out more over your toes, introducing a movement arm or a moment arm, which can cause you to miss the lift. There we go. So while I get my last little minute of rest in here, may as well chat. You may be noticing that when I'm in the when I'm squatting, can't even think. My thumbs are not wrapped around the bar. That's on purpose. So if you hold on, let me put this here. So when you're squatting heavy weight, if you have the bar in your hand like this and you're gripping, what happens is often the bar will roll back and it will put the weight of the bar will be supported by your arms basically. So it's gonna, exert force down on your wrist and on your elbow. In this position, your elbows are in a vulnerable spot. So what happens is people grabbing the bar like that, when they start squatting heavy regularly, it beats the shit out of your elbows. And you'll just notice, real sharp pain in your both your elbow joints after a set, and then it's just kind of like a dull pain and relative weakness that sticks with you for the rest of the day. And once again, that's because your arms are supporting the barbell, not your back. What you want to do is basically the bony prominence of your wrist. You want to tilt your hand like this so that the bar lays on the wrist bones right here, and then you basically have your thumb and palm over the bar. And the bar isn't supported by your arms, it's supported by your back and your shoulders. That's why it's important to make sure that your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your shoulder blades are, together and up, because that is what gives your, the bar a shelf to lay on. So it should be, there you go, scapula, just below the bony ridge of the scapula. And it's your back that is supporting the bars. The arms are just there to kind of keep it from slipping. And for balance, but they should not be bearing the weight. If you notice your elbows are getting beat up during squats, take a look at how you're gripping the bar and try reapproaching it that way. So, you can see, I come to the bar, I'll point my thumbs down. Now the bar is over the bony prominence in my wrist, right? So once it is aligned with those wrist bones, I'll actually curl my thumb on top of it. I just rest my hands on the bar. I'll come underneath, making sure that I've got a big chest. Spread my back, thoracic extension. Barbell is properly situated on my scapula, and I'll just squat up. It's my back that is supporting this barbell, not my arms. Two more. 4. All right. This last one. Yeah. So, I am very much welcoming the extra day of rest that the weekend is going to get me. It's been a rather novel week with new stressors and schedules, and it's impacting my recovery. So, for the press today, this will be the first time I pressed since Christmas. So, I'm just gonna do 3x5 at 135. We're gonna start these light, and the intent of that is so that we can keep making session to session progress as long as we can. So we'll do 135 today, and we'll just do 5-pound jumps until those stop working. Bar path felt good on that. All right, let's get our first set knocked out. Ooh, let the barbell come behind my center of gravity. And what I think, it was probably rep 3 there. It was just let myself get in a hurry, and you know, balance came off, I had to take a step back. Something to be careful about though, because if that would have been, you know, maximal weight, would have been harder to catch. So nothing heavy will move unless it's over the center of your foot, right? So you got to make sure the bar is in balance all the time. All right, I'm gonna set the microphone here while I try to teach myself the power snatch. So by no means should you take this as your only introduction to the power snatch. That said, I read the book last night before bed, so you know, I'm pretty much an expert already. That was, of course, said facetiously. All right, so there's 3 positions that we're going to warm up with before putting weight on the bar. They're going to be the hang position, the rack position, and the jump position. So what we're going to want to do first is grasp the barbell out wide using a hook grip. And what the goal here is, since I have long arms, I'm probably just going to go up to the sleeves, right? But you want the barbell, your grip to be wide enough that the bar is between your pubis, where your hairy little nuts hang out, and your hip bone, because you don't want to be hitting the bar with your hips. So this is going to be the hang position, somewhere between your bush and your hip bones. The anterior iliac, I don't know what the technical term is, but this is the hang position. You want your arms to be in internal rotation, because that is going to force your elbows out. And basically, from the hang position, the next position you want to get to is the rack, and we're going to learn this from the top down. So with the snatch, The bar is going to travel up your body, and the last point of contact is going to leave on your lower stomach. So right below my belt in this case. So we're going to come up, and we want to practice basically catching the barbell up in the rack position. So your wrists will be back, the bar will be directly over the center of your foot. Doesn't really matter where your head is as long as the bar is over the center of your foot. And your arms are going to be in slight external rotation right now. In order to get out of this spot, you're going to rotate your elbows, unlock your wrists, and you're just going to catch it in the hook. The point of practicing this is you don't want, your arms aren't lifting the bar. It's the jump, the momentum that's going to do it. So we're going to do this with a jump to try to get it down a couple times. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. That was probably my best one. So once you get that down, the next position is going to be the jump position. So the jump position is going to be somewhere, on your upper thigh. It's the bottom of the snatch is going to be like a deadlift, so you're going to pull it up. And once you hit your inner thigh, that's going to be like a trigger to signal your body to rapidly extend the hips and knees at the same time. So the pull from the floor, that can be nice and slow. It's basically from the upper thigh and up that you want to build up speed. So we're going to try that a couple times here. And it's the jump that brings this up. Okay. So, well, I suggest that you probably take a whole session getting that motion down. I did do, in the interest of time, I want to see how 135 feels on this. And the reason I'm starting at 135 is just because that's where the bar is going to start. That's going to get me into that deadlift position. So we'll try a rep at this, and if it doesn't come up, it'll be embarrassing and we'll lighten the load. If it does come up, that's going to be pretty cool, huh? So once again, I'm not an expert in this. I have never performed the snatch before. This is my first day. Get yourself a coach. All right, we're gonna chalk up real quick. Chalk makes everything better. Oh, and here's hoping we don't just turn this into a muscle snatch. And that I have enough room to get all this done. Whew. All right. So we're going to shoot for a set of 3, see how this goes. Oh, 1, 2. There we go. Let me redo my grip. Oh, man. Woo! I'm going to take my microphone off because I'm trying real hard not to smash it, which is making me press the weight down instead of just letting it fall down and catching it. So hopefully, without that mental block, the next set will go a little smoother. And if it doesn't, we'll lighten the weight. All right, 3 more. Let's try not to mess myself up during this. There we go. So that one turned into a little bit more muscle than finesse on the last rep. But it moved better than the first set, so progress. All right. I think we're good for set number 3. So, admittedly, they're all ugly. Abominations, in fact. But the bright side is each set, it feels less ugly than the last set, but I suppose I'll catch that in post-prod. Oh, that was good! Thinking these might, I don't know if they're better to do before or after press day or on a bench day. On one hand, I'm thinking, man, my shoulders are kind of tired from the press. But on the other hand, I'm not supposed to be using my arms for this at all. My arms are supposed to be like chains that just transfer force from my legs and hips to the bar. So the arms are only there to hold it and transfer energy. They're not actually contributing to the motion. So I don't know, it's probably still good to have my traps fresh because they're what stabilize the scapula in the up position. That said, I don't think my overhead press was sufficiently heavy to tire that out too much. I don't know, that's what you get sometimes when you hang out with me. I'm just going to be thinking off the cuff. I don't have any of this planned before I talk. I just kind of open my mouth and see what comes out. The only plan I have when I start is what I'm going to lift. Unscripted. See, like that, I would have never planned to do something like that. Last three. Gonna have to explain to my wife why my thighs are bruised. All right. Anyway, that's all we got for today. I'm gonna take a step back because my head's probably out of frame. Probably still is out of frame, but doesn't matter. Thanks for joining me today. Next week we are going to continue with our novice linear progression, but we're going to do some of the more advanced novice stuff. So we're going to introduce a little bit of complexity into the program. We're still going to aim to put weight onto an exercise in PR every session, but we're going to do smaller jumps, and we're going to rotate through, introduce more exercises to PR on so that we're not deadlifting 3 days a week. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you next time.